government continues to improve the regions in Guyana. Today, Gina has the opportunity to sit with the REO, the Regional Executive Officer for Region 3, to find out some of the work that they've been doing in all these sectors. So, first of all, let me say thank you to Mr. Dennis Jacaran for giving us this opportunity to sit and chat with us. And we're ready to find out what's happening in Region 3. All right then? So let's start with the co-op system in Region 3. The Labour Department visited Region 3 a few days ago to discuss some of the issues and how is it they can improve the co-op system in Region 3. Could you tell me some of the challenges with the co-op system presently in Region 3?
Let me say first of all, thanks very much for this interview, and that I'm happy that Gina is here so that the country can know exactly what is happening with Region 3 and what this government is doing to improve the lives of people. As it relates to the co-op societies in Region 3, I've been in constant contact with those societies. Some would have been defunct and some would have been functional, so to speak. A couple of days ago, the minister visited one on the East Bank. On this follow-up, what I would have done is to have a follow-up meeting with them. From that follow-up meeting, I would be having a discussion with the minister, and then that is going to pave the way forward as to how is it we are going to deal with the other co-op societies in Region 3. But I tell you this, that we are anxious and eager for these non-functional societies to become functional in an effort for us to grow more in Region 3. The growth is here, we want to build on that. So that is our plan, and we want to coordinate these efforts with the Minister of Responsible Cooperatives in Guyana. That is Minister Scott.
Great. He made mention of the dysfunctional, or as he said, clearly the corrupt co-op societies. And he said he wants to put an interim management committee to overlook the operation so as to allow accountability and everything fall in line. How do you feel about that approach?
Well, I'm fully in support of what the minister would have said. And in any organization, the question of accountability is what is most important. And you would know our president, that is really and truly one of his hallmarks, accountability for government funds, projects, and all the things that would go with accountability. So as it relates to the putting management committees in place, I fully support that. And whatever I have to do as regional executive officer in an effort to so support the minister, I'll so do that.
Now let's move a bit over to the health sector. Are there any updates as it relates to the health sector in Region 3?
Yes. Let me start with doctors in Region 3. I think based on what we have had a great inflow of doctors for the past couple of months, and what we would have done to ensure that all our health facilities are adequately stored, so to speak, with doctors. At the West Demerara Regional Hospital, we have a number of doctors that are providing service. And for me, I am pleased with that level of service they are providing. We are building on that in this region. What we would have done over the past couple of months is to improve the health facilities, mainly all our health services, that the health centers or health outposts, the West Demerara Regional Hospital, the Lenora Cottage, the Wakenham Cottage, and the Legwan Cottage. So we have done tremendous work there. As it is, as I speak with you, we are trying to get 2 extra machines up and going, one at Legwan and one at Purika. We are doing some remedial work at the West Demerara Regional Hospital that would take care of a doctor's quarter, a massive parking lot for the doctors. We have just rehabilitated the two main theaters in the hospital, and we are doing work there. So we have also completed or about to complete the HDU facility. So that things are happening in this region, and the things are happening so quickly that some people are left behind, but we have to move on. So I would say that the health services in Region 3, that the health services really and truly moving on at a rapid rate.
Great. Now, as in numbers, how many functional health services facilities are there in Region 3 at present?
Well, in terms of number of functioning, it would be about 63 thereabout, including hospitals, outposts, health centers, and whatever.
63.
Yes.
Excellent. Now, 2016 is almost closure. I mean, we had a budget, there were plans for development, and there might have been a number of projects that were not, or that because of circumstances, they could not have been accomplished. Could you give me an update on the amount of services that were not able to be facilitated for the 2016 budget?
Let me put it this, very good question, very difficult question for me, because the answer is that there's only one outstanding service provider that is supposed to come, and that is the supply of an ambulance. The National Tender Board yesterday would have looked at that, and any time now that is going to be awarded. When that would have completed, we would say truly we would have completed all our capital works. As it is, we are about 98% completion of our capital works in the health services.
Nice. So for 2017, since we're at 98% for 2016, what are some of the plans for 2017?
So the 2017, what we are focusing on, how do we improve our healthcare? Meaning that how do we assign our doctors to be more meaningful as they give service to the people? How do we improve our facilities? So we are going to look at our facilities, the existing facilities, upgrade those facilities, enhance what we have, and then be able to build on those. In terms of drugs and drug supply, our relationship is going to be built stronger with that of the Ministry of Public Health. And that is going to allow us to be able to coordinate in a better way in 2017. How is it we receive and distribute our drugs so that the end user, meaning that the patients and those who deserve, would have adequate of it throughout the year.
Excellent. My next question was relating to what are some of the improvements or recommendations you would give for the sector development and how the drug shortage have affected Region 3 if it had with the entire epidemic of the drug shortage that we've experienced over the past.
One major thing I would say is a good relationship between what happens at the regional administration level and that of the Ministry of Public Health. And once we can iron out that, and we are ironing out in those things, we are going to be able to get where we want to. So that is the quick answer to what is going to happen in terms of a recommendation, a good and proper relationship between Public Health Ministry and the regional administration.
Yeah, excellent. Now, let's switch things over a little bit now. Let's look at infrastructure. I mean, on the campaign trail for the last election, the government spoke of Better Life for All, and they talked a lot about developing roads and building communities. Could you tell me some of the work that Region 3 has been doing as it relates to developing communities?
Let me go back to the good life. I want to say that over the past 15 months, we have seen tremendous improvement in this region. And as REO of this region, I think from my assessment, the good life would have been there for all. We want to build on that. And some of the things we have upgraded very many roads in this region. We have cleaned very many canals, drains, infrastructure. We have maintained school buildings. And I guess you'd come to education, so we talk more about that under education. But basically, we would have been able to do the things that are necessary to enhance the life of people as these structures. We have looked at sluices, we have looked at outfalls and all these things. But we are coordinating these things with other agencies. As it is, we have been coordinating with a number of agencies to get these works done.
So you would say that as for infrastructural development, you guys are what percentage?
Well, infrastructural development based on the 2016 budget, I can proudly say that we are 100% complete with that up to this date. Whatever payment is to be made is what you call retention. And that is a normal thing when you do a contract. So you give them a period of time after the contract would have concluded, and then you do a retention for them, and then you pay them when you have done your final assessment of the project. So physically, we would have completed all our capital projects or infrastructure this year.
Excellent. Well, since it's at 100%, I am sure you'll be willing to give us just a few of the areas that you have developed over this year's budget.
Well, in this year, what we have done, as I said earlier, we would have focused our attention on the residential area where you have bridges, roads that needed upgraded that were not done in very many years, and I want to repeat that were not done in very many years. We were able to capture those, and we were able to do them. So we concentrated on access road, we concentrated on the drainage and irrigation, and that is residential drainage I'm talking about. And then we would have done some bridges, we have done some walkways, and those are the major things we would have concentrated on.
Could you give us the names of some of the communities that we can locate the development work as it relates to the bridges and the residential canals?
All right, what I'll do, I'll give you the bridges first. We have done 6 bridges at a cost of $33 million. Eastern Egg 1, we have done that. We have done at Virgin Eugene. We have done at Bellevue. We have done the facade at Farm. We have done at McGilvery, and we have done at the Potential Housing Scheme. Those are the main bridges that we did. As it relates to road, what we would have done, we have done road at Zeeburg, we have done road at the Potential Housing Scheme, we have done road at Wakenham, we have done road at Clark Road at Good Fortune, and we have done at the Bangladesh, a village called Bangladesh. So basically those were the bridges that we did. In terms of voted provision for other land development areas, we would have done a dam at Cameron Dam, we have done that, and we have done at Wakenham also. So basically those are the areas we focused on in 2016.
Let's move a little bit over now to youth development, sport development. What are some of the strides that are being made presently to improve your sports facilities in Region 3?
All right, let me start by saying this, that we have a strong relationship, and you might have recognized during this entire discourse, I've been talking about bonding and strong relationship because we believe, the regional administration believe in partnership. We have been in great partnership with the Department of Youth, Sports and Culture. We have been in great consultation with the youth officer that is stationed in this region, and we have been in consultation with the Ministry of the Presidency, Youth Empowerment Division. Out of those, and out of our budget, we have been able to develop a number of grounds in this region. Some are still in process of doing, but we are doing those grounds. In terms of youth clubs and organizations, we have been forming and we have been in contact with them. During the August vacation, we had a series of youth camps in this region so that we could have bring our youths together in an effort to provide different training programs to them. The police, I must say, the police division would have been providing also some level of support where they are given sporting equipment and gear. Right? The Ministry of Social Cohesion would have also stepped in and would have provided facilities and gears, sporting gears and equipment for sports organization. So we have that kind of partnership with external agencies, and we get that help from them. So we are building on that. As it relates to what we are going to do next year, we are going to ensure that we have more, a multiplying effect as to the number of youth organizations in the region, sports group. As a matter of fact, it is my wish that by March of next year, we have 3 dance clubs and 3 music clubs established in this region, and I would be coordinating those activities with the Department of youth sports and culture. So basically that is what is happening with the youths in this region. There are seminars and workshops in an effort to keep them out of the bad ways of, let's say, the use of drugs and undesirable behavior on the streets and elsewhere. And that is as far as we can go, and we are doing it.
Great. Now, as it relates to youth and police and crime and violence, how has you as REO and your department collaborated with the police force to assist in reducing the activities or the number of crimes in Region 3? What are some of the things you've been doing to support the police?
All right, what I would have done is that I've been coordinating with the police since I came in this region. And the police would have formed a number of sports clubs, as I said early on, and we have been visiting. They have launched a number of libraries, and they are doing a number of workshops. The regional administration, the REO, is cooperating with the police, supporting the police, and out of these sessions, we are able to focus on how is it we can be able to reduce crime in Region 3. As it is, that has gone a far way with us, and we want to build on that next year.
Going to the social side of things, before we tap on the educational aspect, suicide has been a major issue throughout Guyana. What are some of your plans to help to curb the situation in Region 3? What are some of the things you guys plan on doing, or what are some of the collaborative efforts you've been putting out there to deal with the suicide issue?
A number of things. One, we plan to do a poster. It's not a competition, so to speak, but to ensure that posters are placed at strategic points. That is one. Two, we want to coordinate with the Department of Education and with youth groups so that we can hold a number of seminars and workshops. And it would be more role play in this case, not saying to them, not giving to them, but role play to bring out how is it we can prevent suicide. We want a greater partnership with the parents so that through PTAs and what have you, we are going to be able to say to the parents how is it they can be able to deal with some of the behaviors, undesirable so to speak, and how is it they can address the question of suicide. We also plan to do a number of march on the road, march against suicide, march in support of life and good living, and those things I think would help us. We are going to also coordinate with the Ministry of Public Health, the Department of Youth, Sports and Culture, on any organization that would bring us on board to cause suicide to be at a reduced rate in this region.
Now let's go into education. We celebrated Education Month last month, and what were some of the activities Region 3 was involved in, and what were some of the plans, or what were some of the accomplishments for 2016, and what are some of your plans for 2017?
Well, let me start with education. Education Month 2016, we would have had a number of training sessions, or let me say seminars and workshops for teachers, bringing them up to date as to what are the things happening in education. We would have had part of it of the J.F. Haynes debating competition, which is a national competition, but we were part of it. We went to Region 9. I don't recall what the results look like in going to Region 9. We have been having a series of visits to school. It is not the normal visit that the Department of Education would do, but visits that would encourage our teachers to be more on the productive line, and how is it they are able to mesh with what the delivery process is all about. Some of our achievements this year, we have been able to provide, I want to say, adequate pieces of furniture to our schools. We would have renovated, repaired, rehabilitated a number of schools, more particularly the sanitary facilities, leaking roofs, floors, teachers' quarters, and what have you. So I think this storm this year, they would have been much more comfortable than they were. And these things could not have deteriorated within 2 years. It was their evidence that things happen more than it long before now. So we are able to fix those. We would continue in 2017 to fix those areas, to rehabilitate our schools, to provide more pieces of furniture and equipment, and to adequately staff our schools. As a matter of fact, I should add also that under the 5B program, Region 3 would have been able to benefit from the a 30-seater minibus, at least 100 bicycles in different parts of the region. 2 schools were able to have gas stove, 1 school a public address system, and 100 bags were given to children in this region. So that came under the auspices of the Ministry of the Presidency and Region 3. We are grateful to that. We look forward for more of those, and we ask at this time, I ask that if the private sector is so kind to us, they can come on board. We are willing to accept so that our education system can grow.
Excellent. And just to go back a little bit, I don't know, I missed the question, but as it relates to the increase of accidents in our roadways, what have you been doing as REO to help to curb this situation with the support of the police and the traffic department?
You know, we have a new highway being constructed, and while there would have been, I can't say based on what we know, but there has not been so much an increase in the accident rate in Region 3. But we have been working along with the traffic department and more particularly the commandant. Time and again we meet and then we map out strategies. And from our end, what we can do, we do it. Sometimes we speak to minibus drivers, conductors, we speak to the hire car drivers in an effort to allow them and alert them of the safe use of the road. The Ministry of Public Infrastructure would have had a series of workshops also with our drivers on the West Coast in the Region 3. And I think that is how we work around. How is it we prevent? We are going to enhance that education program, that traffic education program in 2017, where we are going to have major stakeholders coming on board to assist us.
Excellent. Great. Now, let's go into the social aspect of Region 3 and as it relates to social ills and Ministry of Social Protection. Domestic violence is a big thing. Human trafficking is a big thing. What are some of the systems you have in place to deal with some of these issues in Region 3? And how have you been collaborating with organizations, NGOs, or the ministry to educate and to help reduce these activities?
Well, two things about it. One is that all the areas that we spoke about just now, the Department of Education, in a very true sense, would address those. The sections of the Ministry of Social Protection that are based in Region 3, time and again, I would be coordinating with them of their major activities. But the Ministry of Social Protection, so to speak, would be the ministry that is going to focus, or would have been the ministry that focused directly on these issues in Region 3, and we would have given them the full support in every single thing.
All right. So tell me, is there any updates, anything that I may have missed that you would like to share with us?
Yeah, I would want to say that Region 3 would have found itself in a different position now. And I say this to indicate to you that since I assumed office as Regional Executive Officer, I would have brought a fragmented staff together. People are much more comfortable, and you can do the interview if you want to with individuals on the staff or across the region. People are much more comfortable. We have celebrated all the national, regional, and religious events in a very true sense in this region. And at each one of them, we would have been improving. Last week, we concluded in this region Amerindian Heritage Month last Friday. And we brought the community of Santa Aratak to Region 3. And this entire complex was transformed. Last year, for the first time, we had what is known as Christmas tree light up and carol singing. And we had gifts to the children. We had hundreds of people standing on the road and what have you. We celebrated Indian Immigration Day. We celebrated Emancipation Day, and that was big in this region this year. And we celebrate all the religious events, Phagwah, Diwali, Easter, Christmas. And so that is a major intervention in this region. And I thought it best to do that because those are the areas in which we can bring our people and to satisfy ourselves that we are in the quest of having this concept of social cohesion being achieved in Region 3. Maybe some people are not too much satisfied with it, and because they see the magnitude in which the growth is taking place, they are worried about it, and they are worried in such a way that all sorts of things they do. But we are comfortable with that. We would continue to make progress in this region. We are going to continue to let things grow, and we are going to continue to let people benefit from a good life. A second initiative I would have taken is that during the drought season, I formed what is known as a stakeholders committee that comprised of the Water Users Association, NDIA, the Farmers Representative, the Rice Producers Association, and the Burusiri Water Commissioners. And we have our engineers. What we did, it is a committee that I would have formed in an effort to allow for whether drought or flooding in the region. We meet at least once every 2 weeks. The meeting would focus on how do we develop the lives of farmers in Region 3. And the third thing I want to talk to you as an initiative of this year, Remembrance Day activities would be at Stewartville. It would be no more at the Stelling Road because that is not the rightful place. History has, the information has provided to me points in the direction that Stewartville is the original place where Remembrance Day activities used to be held. And of this year, I have taken the decision to ensure that we go back to Stewartville and it will remain there.
Thank you so much, Mr. Dennis, and I did enjoy this conversation with you, and thank you for viewing.
Thank you very much.